Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. This is Daniel Gonzalez, State Vice President with Legal Shield, coming back at you. What an incredible start to this to this event here, folks. Apologize for the technical difficulty we had there with Mr. Kelly. But he's going to come on back a little later today and do his training. Hopefully we'll have everything up and running for him so he could deliver that message for him. But we're going to get started with the rest of the Super Saturday, folks. If you're a brand new associate or if you're a guest on here, I just want to say congratulations for sticking around, want to learn more about the company, get yourself trained up. It's just a phenomenal company to be with. We're having some explosive growth right now. So just excited for you to get started on your journey here with us, folks. So I want to introduce to you guys in a minute one of our phenomenal leaders here to just kick off our incentive portion of the incentives that we have here with Legal Shield. Gentleman has had some massive success. He's actually a channel leader for one of our channels here at Legal Shield called Young Pros. He's leading the charge with the young professionals that are making a big difference out there with their businesses. He's a $50,000 ring earner with Legal Shield, a bronze executive director. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring in Mr. Joshua Lockhart. I see you're there.
All right. Hey, really appreciate you putting the event on. Glad to be here. Thank you for everybody that took time out of your day to show up, to sharpen your axe, to get better. So we're gonna go through a couple things, get right into it. So for anybody who is brand new, we have programs, incentives, and things that you can reach for at every single level. And so for new associates, what we help you to do is we want to get you through something called Fast Start. Fast Start is an incredible program that you can go out and make meaningful money, get trained, know exactly what to do, exactly what to say. And in your first 20 days, you can hit some benchmarks and pick up incredible bonuses, right? Just for going out and protecting a couple families. That's going to be about $100 in premium or sales, if you will. If you looked at the presentation with Mr. Gonzalez, that's going to be about 2 family plans. One says, hey, I want to do what you're doing. Not only did you get paid to make some great money, not only did you attend our virtual class and learn so you can, develop yourself, but you just picked up a $100 bonus doing that in your first 20 days. Do you have to do it in your first 20 days? No, you don't have to, but if you do it fast, we'll definitely pay you fast. And of course, every time you help somebody on your team to do that very same thing, when they pick up their $100, you get a matching $100, right? So if you help 3 people to do that, you get your 100 and you get $100 on every single person. So you made $400 in bonuses plus the money you made just for helping people. So we love to say that if you help other people to get what they want, you can get everything that you want. And next up, after you hit that next rank, we call it it's the manager position, but it's also known as future leaders of Legal Shield. This is a very core, integral rank position for Legal Shield. And so they give you your first 45 days. It certainly doesn't take 45 days. We have some folks that do that in 4 to 5 days, but they give you 45 days. And to attain that, I just mentioned help 3 people to get started, right? Help 3 people to get started in their very own business with Legal Shield. But you go out and you do help those 3 people to get started. And between you and those 3 people, as a team, you go out and collectively do $400 in premium / think of it as $400 in sales, right? So if that's that family plan, we're only talking about 8 people that you can help with these services. And what's incredible is when you do that, remember you picked up the $100 bonus. Now you get a $750 bonus if you do that in your first 45 days. $750, that's $800, $850 in bonuses just for doing that. And again, remember, every time you help somebody on your team to achieve future leaders of Legal Shield, achieve the manager position, when they get their $750, you get a $500 matching bonus, right? So definitely you want to go out and help as many people that you can to become a future leader of Legal Shield. If you do that 3 times, that's $1,500 in bonuses, not plus the commissions and everything else. So if you can't tell, there is a huge incentive, a huge push to help people get started right, move fast, and be productive, and of course, really get their financial goals that they're looking to get, right? So really exciting stuff. And we even have the next one, the third one, right? From July, of course, up till September, as we are now, we even have a senior manager bonus, right? So it just keeps on going up. So whatever level you want to push to, you can definitely do that within your first 90 days, right? We talked about 3 people. You help the 3 people get their first promotion. Remember what that takes? $100 in sales, 1 person, and a total of $1,350 in sales. They give you 90 days to do it, another $750 bonus. And again, everything is matching as well. And so that's like $1,600 in bonuses to you. And then every time somebody in your team does that, you get that too. Help 3 people go senior manager, it's $1,600, $1,600, $1,600. How many people can you help? How fast can you do it? And so, I just want you to know what is available to you. And so I'm actually going to turn the call back over to Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, appreciate you having me on. Appreciate you putting this on with all the rest of us. And back to you, sir.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Lockhart, for spending the time to just break that down. So now we're going to transition. Into another segment of our incentives here. It's called the builder bonus, right? It's just an amazing, outstanding. Guys, look, some of these bonuses are outstanding. And once I go through these numbers with you, I hope you see the power of some of these bonuses. Again, this is from July through September that you have to qualify for this. But look, understand that we give massive bonuses to individuals that want to build a big business, right? That's what it's called, a builder bonus, right? So the way you qualify for this incentive, right? First, you have to be at least a senior director and have double-digit recruiting in your team. Okay, so if you have double-digit recruiting in your team, your bonus is going to equal your Power Team Network premium every month. So if you all, together sold, $800 a month for those 3 months in a row, that's going to be your bonus check. So it's pretty awesome that you can build a nice bonus check just for helping build your team, right? And that's what I love about Legal Shield is as the bigger you build, the more people you help, the more money you make. And I just love that they're always putting money right back in our pocket. So the next up, if you reach the executive director position along with double-digit recruiting, you're actually get 50%. See, the executive directors typically have a bigger organization that's selling more premium, right? So we're going to give you 50% of what all the premium that was sold in your organization as a bonus. But there's a multiplier that you could add by getting more recruits. So look, if you hit over 20 recruits, they're going to give you 100% of every dollar in premium that your organization wrote. So if your organization wrote, $2,000 in premium every month, guys, that's a $6,000 bonus that you could build. But there's even a bigger bonus for you here, right? So the more you recruit, the bigger the bonus gets. If you're able to recruit, okay, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself here. This is an example here, right? So look, if you have 10 power team recruits, 10, all three each month, you got double-digit recruiting, and you're hitting those numbers. That's what your bonus would look like. Sorry, I skipped over myself. I got a little excited, guys. I get excited when it comes to bonus checks. So look, if you're able to recruit 75 recruits, they're going to multiply that bonus by 2. And if you get over 200 recruits in that 3-month period, folks, they're going to triple the amount of premium that your organization wrote. Now, guys, we've seen some of these bonuses over $100,000 in a quarter. That's in 3 months time frame. It's just an amazing bonus there, folks. So of course, you got to be either senior director or an executive director for all 3 months to qualify. You got to at least have double-digit recruiting all 3 months. You must have Legal Shield Advantage and be in Performance Club to qualify for that bonus. So look, we got something called PC for Life as well. Just another bonus for you to take advantage of. But what I love about it, it really incentivizes us to do daily activity. And it pushes us even harder to become leaders. And first, you have to lead yourself to be Performance Club. But listen, you're going to get a bonus check for everyone, on Performance Club. And we're not going to go over Performance Club in this presentation. But look, it's just a minimal activity, doing just a little bit here and there. We'll earn you a monthly bonus, okay? What's really neat is as you build a team, everyone on your team, if they receive a bonus check, you could receive a matching bonus check. Guys, we just saw some massive PC for Life bonuses go through this past month, guys. I mean, $10,000 bonus for a month. A month's worth of work, building a team, building it the right way, promoting daily activity, and making sure that first you're leading by example, but duplicating that activity into your organization. And now we got something called Dream Builders, folks. This is some next level money. This is next level money. I think this really sets us apart from every other company that's in the industry, folks, because it is some ridiculous money. Okay, to qualify for this, you got to be a platinum executive director for a full year consecutively. But look at these bonuses. If you're consecutive platinum executive director, folks, for 5 years in a row, you're looking at a $1.5 million collective bonus. I mean, that's amazing. Look at these bonuses. So look, if you're platinum executive director for 12 months in a row, they're going to drop $100,000 in your bank. If you stay platinum for 2 years in a row, that's a $2,000 check. These are one-day drops, folks. After your 3rd year of being consistent as a platinum executive director, $300,000. 4 years, they're going to give you a $400,000 check. And on that 5th year, folks, a $500,000 check, a total of $1.5 million. And it's just amazing. I mean, that is dream lifestyle money. And that's apart from all the commissions that you would make on that journey. Because you have a massive team if you're a platinum executive director. So just big bonuses, folks. Want to make sure that you're all aware. You have to be a platinum executive director by December 31st this year. By the end of this year, to solidify a position to start that consecutive run. So as long as you qualify for platinum before the end of this year and you maintain it, you'll be able to take advantage of that bonus. Okay, and your ultimate goal, guys, stay consistent. So look, we're going to roll into our recognition piece. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right? No need to introduce myself. I'm right here, folks. So first, we want to recognize our Performance Club qualifiers. Now, we just talked about Performance Club for Life, right? We just talked about PC for Life, and that's all about doing daily activity, little bit every day, just a little bit. It's not all out full time. It's just a little bit every day, and we incentivize you to do that, right? So you can learn the basics, so you can teach the basics and duplicate basic activity. That's how you win in legal shows. It's not about you going out and doing all the work every day. It's about you finding a bunch of part-time individuals that are willing to do just a little bit every day. That's how you get the big checks. So we got Performance Club in here. And these individuals, just after their second month, in the Performance Club, they start receiving a bonus check. Just after month two. Can you imagine being at your job, right, for just 2 months and you start receiving a bonus check? That's just next level. So I want to go ahead and celebrate all those individuals that are making it happen, folks, that qualify for Performance Club and are qualifying. Now, this is a Florida, Georgia event. So first, we're going to roll all of the Performance Club qualifiers for the state of Florida, and then we're going to celebrate all of the Georgia qualifiers. So here we go, folks. Congratulations to all of the Performance Club qualifiers. So please, if you see some of your friends on here, your colleagues, celebrate them, put them in the chat, drop a line in there, let them know that you see them, let them shine. So here we go. So many individuals qualifying, folks. That was just amazing. So now let's go over to Georgia and celebrate all the success that's happening in Georgia, folks. It's just absolutely amazing, folks. So congratulations to all the Performance Club qualifiers in Florida and in Georgia. Here we go. Absolutely just extraordinary, folks. So now we'd like to celebrate just all of the brand new associates. Congratulations for getting started. Welcome to the team. Just super excited to lock arms with you folks. So for all of you that are brand new, congratulations and welcome to the Legal Shield family. Next, I'd like to celebrate those that since the last Super Saturday, it's a month's time from now, has gotten their first promotion. They got that senior associate position. They got a bonus check coming in, right? So it's just awesome. Congratulations to all of the brand new senior associates in Florida and in Georgia. Let's roll that scroll. The list of names was so long, we ran out of music. Okay. So, hey, congratulations to all those senior associates that made it happen, leading by example, folks. Now, what you want to do is turn around and duplicate yourself so that you can achieve that manager position, folks. These are the future leaders of Legal Shield. Manager is one of the most important positions. We've done the statistics, we've done the math. It is statistically proven, folks, that manager is the most important position in this company. So I want to celebrate you all. Such a big congratulations to you folks. You did it. Here's a list of all the future leaders of Legal Shield since that last Super Saturday, folks. Here we go. Phenomenal job to all of those managers. So we want to highlight one in particular, folks. This is an individual that got in, made it happen in the time frame to receive that bonus, folks. So without any further ado, I'd like her to introduce herself and just congratulate her, folks, for doing the amazing job that she did achieving her level.
Hi, my name is Tracy Jackson. I am a full-time diesel mechanic in the Atlanta market. In my first 45 days, I became future leader of Legal Shield. For me, Legal Shield means stability not just for myself, but for my family.
Just an amazing job. Fantastic. Congratulations to you. Now we'd like to recognize that next level, folks, that senior manager position. This is the next step before director. Super exciting for these individuals because they are on their way to big success, folks. So without any further ado, I'd like to congratulate and recognize this month's brand new senior managers.
Your sound.
Forgive me. Thank you so much for coming in. So look, now we'd like to recognize our directors here, folks. That's just an amazing position to be at. Remember from that compensation plan that we showed you earlier, folks, one membership, one family plan a day. It's over $50,000 a year. So we call these the dangerous directors because if they're working on a part-time basis and they walk into work one day and they get any lip from their owner, from the boss of that company, they might just walk out. This is a life-changing position, folks. So I'd like to recognize, big shout out to all of our brand new directors with Legal Shield. Just awesome. Just awesome. That's all I got to say. It's just awesome to see all this success, guys. So excited. So excited. So now we're going even bigger. We're going even bigger, folks. I want to recognize the people that are making it happen, the big leaders, folks. The senior directors and executive directors in this company are those that are leading the charge. They're blazing the trail for big success for everyone in their organizations. They're leading by example. They're teaching. These are leaders that are teaching others to lead. So it's just an incredible place to be at that senior director and above position. So I just want to recognize all of you and thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for always pouring into those that want to succeed. So again, let's roll this out and celebrate our senior directors and executive directors. The leadership that we have here, it's not like none other. And look, because of great leaders that are willing to pour, it doesn't matter if you're a brand new associate or you've been with the company for over 10 years, they continue to pour into you. They continue to grow you, to help you, to inspire you, to lead you to where you need to be, folks. We believe in each and every one of you. And we want you all to succeed. So I'd like to bring in a very good friend of mine. She's just an extraordinary individual out of the Melbourne marketplace, Miss Samara Lander, to tell you her story. Brand new executive director with Legal Shield. Congratulations, Samara.
Hey everyone, my name is Samara Lander from Melbourne, Florida. Just hit the executive director position for the very first time last month in 12 years of doing this business, and I am super excited. I tell you, this journey in Legal Shield has been an amazing journey, and it continues to get better and better every day. I love being able to help protect families and help change people's lives, especially in the midst of a pandemic right now, in a time where, people are losing their income and things are not looking so great. Being able to be a blessing and to bring something like this, an opportunity like this, to change people's lives. So now I'm just even more excited about what the future has to hold in Legal Shield, and just want to encourage those of you that have been in this business for quite some time to just keep doing the thing and go out there and make it happen.
Thank you so much for your leadership, Samara. I mean, just an absolutely amazing individual, folks. If you ever get around this woman, she's just electrifying, her personality. So next, we'd like to celebrate, now this is fun, her mother. This is what happens when families in Legal Shield work together to make it happen. Not only did Miss Samara Lander go executive director, but because she went executive director, her mother, Miss Leandra Leander, went bronze executive. Folks, if you know these ladies, you know that they're just amazing individuals. They're just awesome to be around. So I'm truly deep down in my heart excited to watch them have this level of success. But let me just introduce you to her so you can hear her story from her. Miss Leandra Lander, congratulations, brand new bronze executive director.
Hi everyone, my name is Leandra Lawrence, and I'm an evangelist for the Lord as well as Legal Shield. I just got promoted to bronze executive director. It did not come to me by accident. I purposely went out for it. I purposely spoke about it because I believe in it. I speak with conviction. I'm not afraid to speak to people about Legal Shield because it's a good product. It's helped me many times, helped my family. And we used it when we were buying our home to get a contract done. And, I've had so many experiences with the attorneys. I would have been paying a whole bunch of money if I didn't have this Legal Shield. So it's a godsend. It was sent to me. And I just want to make sure that there's more executive directors, created in this business, because it's out there. People are looking. People want to do it. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing. Talk to the people. Let them understand it. Even though they watch a video, but they're looking at you to find out exactly, are you saying something to them or you just want the money? And for me, I would do it even if I never got paid for it, because I recognize the value of the product. So with that, I'm just going to say, thank God for Legal Shield. God bless Legal Shield.
Just an amazing story, folks. And we're going to go out to one more brand new bronze executive director, Mr. George and Dorcas Boateng, in the Florida market, just doing amazing things. They've only been in the business for a couple of months. It's just amazing the level of success they achieve so fast. And that just speaks to the amazing testament that Legal Shield could truly be the vehicle for you to achieve any level of success that you choose to achieve.
Everyone, my name is George Boateng, and this is my lovely wife, Dr. Boateng. We are Brown's Executive Director, and we are in Pensacola, Florida. We are here to tell you of how blessed we are to be part of Legal Shield family. We joined Legal Shield on July 3rd, 2020, and the experience is incredibly mind-blowing. The benefit in using the service alone is something, is awesome. And the blessings in doing the business is simply amazing. And we are blessed to be part of this awesome family. Just within these few weeks, we've been promoted to several levels and positions, and we are so fired up to help build this amazing family. So God bless Legal Shield, God bless Jabel, God bless you, Daniel Self, and God bless my Platinum Executive Director, Alex and Jackie Corte, for all the help that you've been giving to us. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Sound check.
Thank you again. So I just want to give a quick shout out to all the CMCs going out there making it happen in their markets or prospective markets, folks. Congratulations to you folks, and thank you so much for all your hard work. And I also want a big shout out to all of the regional directors, both in Florida and in Georgia. I'm sure I speak on Mr. Josh Lockhart's on his behalf as well for the Georgia regional directors and CMCs. Just thank you for all your hard work. We couldn't do all this without you folks. So we definitely appreciate you. So now, folks, we're going to slide into some of our training. We're going to kick this off with some training in our 10 core systems. Now, these systems were put in place to teach our associates how to run and operate the business from beginning to end. This professional training is an amazing, amazing tool that we have. So I want to go ahead and invite our guest trainer today to go over these phenomenal or this particular core system, Mr. David Hauser. This individual is just a dynamic individual. He's one of our regional directors out in the North Florida market. So without any further ado, I'm going to give the floor to you, my friend.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for your leadership, sir, and the opportunity to share this morning, this afternoon, a little bit about my background. I came to Legal Shield from a law enforcement career, 20 plus years of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Never enough money at the end of the month. The senseless meetings and the people at the top suppressing the people at the bottom undermining the people at the top. And Legal Shield for me means freedom and the opportunity now to commute downstairs to my home office and a true home-based business. So listen, one of the first things you want to do is bring your new associate on board the proper way, right? Because associate onboarding is the key to your success, right? So one of the things to know is that the first day, right, Legal Shield is going to send your new associate a link to a Getting Started Right website. That's very important. mylegalshield.com/start. As their sponsor, you want to definitely make sure you work with that new associate to help them to go through that training, that first step document, and get started right. Day 2, right? They're going to send a link to the Fast Start training and the bonuses and how to register for the Fast Start class. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And so we want to make sure that our new associates gets plugged in to our system of success the right way, right? We want to help them launch their business, not just start their business. And you do that by setting goals, right? Help that new person set a goal. There's 5 steps. Activate their technology, the apps. So we're going to talk about those and break it down. Make a plan, right? How are you going to know where you're going if you don't set a plan or make a plan to get there? And we want to definitely support them and get them trained. And listen, number 5, the most important thing, take action right away. So set the goal. right? Step number one, review the goal with the sponsor and make sure that your new associate's goal is aligned with your goal, right? How they want to work, right? What is their why? Why is an acronym for what hurts you, right? What helps you? What motivates you? I know for me personally, we were $30,000 in credit card debt when we first got started, and I was looking for a way to kind of, get those credit card people off of my back, and Legal Shield helped us to do that. So, how much do you want to make in your first 6 months in Legal Shield? We have to have a clear picture of that. And the other thing you want to do is you want to start speaking it into existence, right? What you want to make in your Legal Shield business. How many hours are you willing to work your business on a part-time, spare time basis to make that money? Okay. What is your goal in the first 45 days? Folks, if we could show you a way to earn an extra $2,000 in the first 45 days, part-time, spare time, would that be worth it to you working 8, 10, 12 hours extra a week? Okay. So that's your first goal, right? 45 days or 4 to 5 days with our accelerated platform now with the Zoom. So again, you want to fast start qualify first, all right? You need $100 in premium. All that is a couple of combination family plans plus one associate, right? You attend your fast start training class within the first 20 days, or you can just market $180 in premium. Any combination of the memberships, within that first 20 days. And listen, that's just the start, because you want to get to senior associate where you're going to increase your commissions to $132 every time you sign somebody up. But you are on your way to becoming a future leader, and that is manager, right? You need 3 associates. So just 2 more associates, and collectively, $400 in organizational premium, or you can market $400 in premium yourself. But again, the first 4 to 5, well, it says 45 days, but we like to say 4 to 5 days because success loves speed. Step 2, we want to help that new associate activate their technology, right? Their Prospect by Legal Shield. That is your mobile business. You carry that in your hand, right? Your database, your customer relationship management business. So you want to help them download that and start putting contacts in there, who they're going to be sharing this amazing information with. The other app is lsengage.com. That is your communications app. That shows all of your back office, all of your activity that you're personally doing and that your team is doing. And these apps are absolutely critical, because you are, you have your business in the palm of your hand. And again, step 3, you want to make a plan, right? Work with your sponsor to create that initial fast start qualification plan and to move on to the manager position in 45 days, or we like to say 4 to 5 days. And again, how do you do that? You have a game plan interview within the first 24 hours where you are going to use a memory jogger to write down the list of the people that you know. These are people that your warm market that know you, like you, and trust you. And they're gonna help you to launch your business, right? You want to set a date and time for your first private Zoom call, your PZC, right? Within the first 24 hours, and start inviting people using that Prospect by Legal Shield app. And your sponsor, the person that brought you into the business, is going to be working with you step by step. So you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And you also want to schedule some sit down presentations, 5 of them, right, with your sponsors, a 2-on-1 presentation. It's a little tougher with the COVID, but you can still do it virtually, right? And step 4, get trained, fast start train. You go to legalshieldcalendar.com, And that's where you're going to register and you're going to attend that Fast Start training class within your first 20 days, get that $100 in premium and that one associate, and you're going to pick up a $100 bonus for attending and be in position to move up to that manager. So absolutely, training is critical, and your associate, your sponsor is going to be working with you step by step. Again, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And look, step 5, ladies and gentlemen, you want to take action, right? You want to schedule that private Zoom call within the first 24 hours. You want to take action and share the opportunity in the membership videos every day, right? Prospecting 5 to 10 prospects per day. And again, you're sending this information via technology through your Prospect by Legal Shield app. And you also want to follow up with those individuals that you're sharing this information and do a 3-way conference call with your sponsor to answer the questions that your prospects may have. Powerful, powerful 3-way calls. And then you want to invite those prospects to a live presentation. And right now we're using the Zoom platform. And listen, we have the company, corporate is putting on 3 Zooms a day. And then each team, a lot of the teams are doing private Zooms every single day. And you want to definitely get those prospects in front of that presentation. We know that meetings make money, and the more people you get in front of this information with the meetings, the more money that you make. Thank you for your leadership, Mr. Gonzalez. And that is it from David Hauser, Regional Director, North Florida. Back to you, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Hauser. Phenomenal job. I'd like to take a moment now and introduce our next speaker, just another incredible leader here with us. He's a regional director down in South Florida, also a brand new $50,000 income earner, an executive out of the South Florida market, making some massive moves. Good friend of mine, just an extraordinary person, Mr. Daniel Sardine. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Fantastic. The floor is yours.
Awesome, awesome. Well, glad to be on this afternoon, right? This afternoon. So I'm Daniel Sardine. I've actually been with Legal Shield for going on 10 years now. Just my little quick story. Really started on a part-time basis while I was in college, just to make some extra money. Then it grew from there, and today this is all I do. Get to enjoy the time free and working from home. It's definitely been a blessing, especially during these times with COVID and everything going on in the world today. But I'm going to jump into a short segment of training today on one of the fundamental skills of Legal Shield, or building a network marketing business. So today we're going to cover presenting. How do you present this information to other individuals? Now, when this presentation was put together, it was pre-COVID, but I'm going to kind of give you some ways how you can make this current, right? So presenting, you want to tell your story, share the app, practice makes improvements, and your meetings make money, right? Mr. Hauser just talked about that. Meetings make money, and they absolutely do. Right. So the more meetings you're having, the more money you're making, especially if you have people attending those meetings. Right. So presenting the membership, you want to share the mobile app via Prospect by Legal Shield. You don't want to send them to the App Store, the Google Play Store, or whatever it is to go download the app. No, you want to send them the app, because when they download it from your link from Prospect by Legal Shield, you're going to get credit for that. So you want to make sure that, number one, that's done. Number two, show them how to use it. See, when I used to go to the coffee shop and I used to meet with somebody, I would show them on their phone. I'll make them download it, show them on their phone what the buttons were, how it worked, and what were the benefits of Legal Shield. Now, we can't really see it at the coffee shop right now, but we can do this virtually, and we can download those presentations right through Ellis Engage under resources. If you go under resources, you go under most commonly used, you'll see the US presentation right there, just like the one that you saw this morning, well, this afternoon, at the beginning of this segment. And then tell testimonials and member stories. Tell stories. Facts tell, stories sell. I'm getting it all mixed up here. Facts tell, stories sell. And then ask questions. Throughout your presentation, you want to ask questions you know answers to, right? You want them saying yes, makes sense, right? Right? Saying things like that so they can nod, agree, and continue, right? So the more you get them to say yes throughout the presentation, the easier you're going to have when you're closing them for them to say yes. So practice makes improvement. You don't want to go into your first presentation just doing it for the first time. You want to plan. You want to know what member stories you're going to share. And you want to have those stories down to 30 seconds, right? 60 seconds max, but 30 seconds, because you don't want your presentation to be an hour and a half long. And you only want to share a few stories. So pick a few stories. And what I like to do is, before I start the presentation, get to know the person. Find out if they have a family, if they have children, get to know the things that are important to them so you can highlight the benefits that would be most important to them during the presentation, right? So if they don't have a family, maybe you're not going to talk about anything with kids or anything like that. You're not going to focus on that. But you may mention it because they may know some people, but you're not going to spend a lot of time there. That's what I mean, right? Or maybe if it's an older person, you may spend more time on the will, or a younger person, you may spend more time on the traffic tickets. That's why you want to mirror and match and have those stories, but 30-second segments, right? So as you're going through the bullets of what this button does, and how it can benefit you, you sharing those stories in between, because the facts tell and the stories sell. Do the presentation and then review what you did right, what you need to do different, right? Educate yourself on any questions asked that you don't know, right? Repeat and improve. See, some people want to study it. And I did say you need to study it before you do your first presentation, but that doesn't mean you need to study it for weeks or even days, maybe a day, right? Take the time, set it aside, put together a few stories that you've known, or maybe your sponsor knows, or someone that introduced you to Legal Shield knows. Steal other people's stories until you have your own. I mean, just call a law firm, especially if you're sharing it with your friends. Call a law firm and ask a question. Maybe it's about your will. Maybe it's about something that happened in the past. That way, when you talk to your friends, you can say, hey, this is the way I use it. Or you can say, hey, this is the way my partner uses it, my business partner, my member, one of our members, right? You can put it in those words and use those stories. And then just wrapping up here, present the opportunity using third party. Of course, as much as you can, you want to use third party to do the presentation, because especially if we're looking at building a huge organization all across North America, we want to make sure it's duplicatable. We want that new prospect to look and say, hey, I can do what you just did. And if you put it into a third party presentation, a third party, three-way call that did the close for you, they'll say, man, they didn't really do anything but invite me to the information and point me in the right direction. I can do that. But if you did an amazing presentation, an amazing close on your own, they might say, yeah, this is a great service. I want to sign up for the service, but I don't think I can do this business part because I am not as good as you, right? So you want to use third party as much as you can, especially now. There's Zooms happening every single day between teams, between corporate, between states, between regions. I mean, there's things happening every single day that you can take advantage of to get people in front of a third party presentation, from Super Saturdays, opportunity briefings when we used to meet in persons, or luncheons, right? Zoom opportunity presentations, private business receptions, or private Zoom receptions, right? And all these different ways, possibly by Legal Shield, that you can share information with people today. So with that, I want to turn this call over to one of my great friends, one of the leaders in Legal Shield all across North America, but he's actually the regional director for the East Coast of Florida, really leading the charge when it comes to Legal Shield. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Mr. Jeffrey Lewis to talk about convention.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. All right, let's just get here. Daniel, just need a little help here grabbing the thing here. My mouse just went out. If you could just help me out really quickly here. All right, you're going to help me out. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. What a good man. So good. I have the opportunity. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. My name is Jeffrey Lewis, and I have the opportunity to share with you about the convention that's being held on live stream. And really, what I want to do is talk to you about the convention, right? And why it's so important. And, a lot of us don't really know, because there's such a large amount of us that is brand new to the whole Legal Shield idea, the concept of coming into a company like this and really getting the full value of all the event type experiences. I'm not saying that we haven't done well. We've done super well. We've grown a lot more than we've done in the past years, but there's actually one magical event, one special, very powerful event called the National Convention. And it's really coming up on October 9th and 10th. But here's what I want to tell you. The importance for that is that once we have that event allows us to become immersed, right? And it's important for us to be immersed in that environment because why? It allows us to be blocked away from all the negativities in life, the things that keep us away from really understanding and appreciating the full value of what we have. And so, unfortunately, we won't have that today, but fortunately, okay, you can actually control that environment and go ahead and recreate that environment. So here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to go out and register for this event and act as if it is a live event. Act as if you're there so you could see it, touch it, feel it, smell it, and taste it, right? Because that event literally has changed the life of so many individuals that have come before us. It'd be a shame if you didn't really try to recreate it now. And so look, for $99, you can actually have access to that event and get registered for it, right? And so many of you will say, well, Jeff, why is it $99? It's free. It's a live event. Why should I do that? Here's what I'm telling you. It's still a production, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's still something that is paid for. As a matter of fact, they're going to talk about the six slices that make up the whole, everything from the physical to the financial, emotional, spiritual, relationships, intellectual, and legal. That's the first day. The second day, they're going to talk about the 10 pillars of leadership. And here's the thing that I know. I'm so excited about going there because it's going to be covering the whole man. It's going to be getting you from where you are right now to catapulting you into who you need to be in the future. And so if you're not at this event, you're missing out. You're not only missing out for you, but you're missing out for the others. A very intelligent man who's going to be training today said that Legal Shield gives you a seat at the legal table, not only for yourself, but along with others that you choose to invite to that table. And Mr. Kelly said this months ago. And this convention does the same thing, builds the leadership so that way you can be a leader not only for you, but for the others that you serve, and they can have an opportunity to do the same. So not only get you registered, but get all the people registered for this live stream event and act as if it is an event that you had to travel to and immerse yourself in that environment. Next slide, sir. And so with that being said, you want to go up to mylsengage.com/convention. And you'll see all the details that I've talked about there. You'll see an agenda. It starts on Thursday to have small business training and all the different things that you can register for in advance. And you can actually get in and get all the details that you need. So don't miss it. Make sure you block it out on your calendar. Put your kids in the closet. Kick the dog outside. Tell your husband or wife, I don't want to see you. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But what you want to do is get registered for the convention. If you have any questions, go to reg at legalshieldcorp.com and they can help you there for those. Next slide, sir. With that being said, I want to stay connected. I want to talk to you about being connected for just a quick second here. I had a lot of people saying to me, Jeff, there's so many Zooms out there. I don't know what to do. I just don't get on them anymore. Here's what I want to talk to you about. There's a small story in a great book that I read. It's a close book. It's written by the master teacher himself. Okay. And in that book, they talk about a vine and they talk about branches that come from that vine. And if you're not connected to the vine, you can't bear fruit. And if you can't bear fruit, then why are you here anyway? And I'm going to say that parallels to a lot of things that we have going on in Legal Shield, right? Legal Shield is your vine. You can choose to be connected to that vine or to the same negative vine and circumstances you had before. And your option is, I'm going to connect myself to this vine. I'm going to get on some of these September Zooms at 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. And I'm going to invite other people to be there. And I'm going to produce the fruit that changes my life forever. So jump on www.legalshieldzoom.com and go ahead and stay connected. We have small business ones, opportunity ones, and even ones in Spanish. You don't have to speak both dialects to do it. All you have to do is say, poquito trabajo, mucho dinero, and they'll understand. You just invite them there. Guys, seriously speaking, you can have someone to help you to invite someone there. All right. So here's the thing. The leadership show. If you're a leader, it's self-explanatory. You want to be on the leadership show. Okay. Look, it's pre-recorded. They're not pre-recorded, but it's recorded so you can catch it another time. But most definitely live every Sunday. You want to get on there 6 p.m. Central. Okay, for you to get there. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, my time. But here's what you definitely need to know at this point in time. If you're not on the leadership show, that means you're not intending to be a leader. And if you're not intending to be a leader, guess what? You're not leading. And if you're not leading, you're falling back. Everyone is a leader. Everyone has the opportunity to lead. And so here's what I tell you. If you're not leading in your own life and in your own business, there's a question you have to ask. How do I start? Good place to do that is the leadership show. All right, 10 a.m. Central. It's replayed. You can catch it on www.lsengage.com. Okay, good. The newsletter. It's the weekly good newsletter. This is where Mr. Thompson and several other individuals throughout the company give you the good news about Legal Shield. You can find it right on your app. Okay, go on there and click on it. And you can find all the information weekly. I mean, so many bad news things are happening on TV, on the radio, on the internet, everywhere you go. You can't even go out for a drink of water with somebody out telling you something happened bad today. So isn't it good to know that Legal Shield is casting the good news? Stay connected, guys. www.lsengage on your app. You can check the corporate communications, sponsor reports, real-time updates. You can even go to Facebook. Man, I went there today. I got so excited. I saw so many people getting performance club checks of over $1,000 plus, ring earners, 50K, 100K, so many dreams being realized. Now, wouldn't you like to serve at a table of success like that? I've got great news for you. You are being served. All you have to do is partake, and you can have the same type of success every day, right? So good. Our ladies, they're definitely powerful ladies of justice throughout the United States of America and in Canada, throughout the North Counties. They have a format and a process. Our ladies are doing it big. Entrepreneurs. They're literally the ones that are leading our industry. And here in Legal Shield, it's definitely the same. Coffee socials on Tuesday. Okay, you can have an ambassador meeting on Wednesday. Coaching on success on Wednesday as well. Friday, Facebook Lives. Everything you need to do and have right there. Okay, so you can go out and have the ladies of justice handle it. Okay, so just go here, Espanol. And look, I love this area because literally this is one of an untapped area for so many years within Legal Shield, right? They didn't have representation. Now they have an entire opportunity, a brand new launch right there. Guys, you know, so many people tell me, Jeff, I don't speak Spanish. I don't understand the community. It's okay. It's okay. Recruit them anyway. I guarantee you after you finish, you'll be eating tostones, arroz con pollo. All that stuff will be yours. And guess what? They'll be glad that you helped them realize their dream. And look, here's what's one common language: freedom. No matter where you go, everybody understands that. And Legal Shield there is to give us financial freedom, okay, time freedom, okay, and freedom with our rights. And so Legal Shield is deserved to be had for everybody. Small business owners are definitely having some challenges today, okay, because of so many things going on with the state of America. But you have the access to do that. Good. Tuesday and Wednesday, they have qualified individuals that could tell the story. Here's what I want you to know: the importance of staying connected. You don't have to have all the information. You don't have to be the actual root system where all the information comes through you. All you have to do is tap into what's there and be a conduit to exactly what people need and where to get it. And guess what? You can bear the fruit that you need. So small business, 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Central, Tuesday and Wednesday, plug them into a small business overview and they can do all the talking for you and you can get the exciting thing. Young pros, so exciting. I was a young pro at one time, but you can see the gray hairs on my chin. I don't know if I'm a young pro or if I've been casted out. I don't know. I wish I was invited. Either way, all I know is that Young Pros is one of the most infectious opportunities that we have here within Legal Shield. Mr. Sardine is one of our leaders, and he's actually there. So is Mr. Josh Lockhart, the president. They're doing such a great job. So many brand new ringers are coming out there. I just recruited an individual the other day, and we had no commonality. They were brand new in college. And, you know, I thought I was hip. I was listening to a lot of still hip hop music and doing a lot of new things. I said, man, I'm a young man. And they told me that they're definitely a younger man. So I plugged them into Young Pros, and they found a place called home. And so, guys, with that being said, make sure you plug into that. And look, brand new thing here, our Legal Shield card. We've been talking about that. I recruited an individual and said, Jeff, let me tell you something. I have trouble getting onto my app. I have trouble doing this and that. And this gentleman was actually 65 years of age, but he just took over the membership. He said, I love it. He said, but man, you got to teach me how to use a computer. You know what I said to him? I said, I got one better for you. Okay. I'm going to give you this Legal Shield card. And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to go ahead and I want you to stick that in your pocket. And every time something happens, if it does, I don't wish this on you, I want you to pull this thing out. And guess what? Use it then. And the glow that came over his face when he said, man, Legal Shield is righteous not only for those that have access to technology and understand it, but those that don't. Man, look at Legal Shield again, balancing the playing field for everybody. So, guys, get a pack of these cards. They're worth almost the value to buy them is almost nothing. And it's a great way to give somebody something tangible to cover the opportunity with. You can go to Legal Shield store for that. All right, guys, I have the opportunity to now introduce to you our featured speaker for the day. This gentleman has been in the company for some time, heart of gold, 4 children plus 1, as you've seen before. Okay, he's not only a great father, but he's a great husband. Okay, and so says his wife. He has a wonderful electric smile, and he is a leader of leaders because his personal development is just pouring out of him. I have my pen set to turbo. I have my paper here. He's a platinum executive director, $100,000 ring earner, and my new friend, Mr. James Kelly. Over to you, sir.
All right, Mr. Lewis, can you hear me okay?
I can. You got to mute the Zoom, sir.
He actually wanted.
Okay, go ahead.
He actually wanted me to stay on this platform.
All right, we're still on me right now. I'm gonna ask Mr. Gonzalez to go ahead and take the helm because I don't have anything prepared right now. Oh, there's my good friend coming up. He's coming up right now. Okay, I'm excited, and I won't give you any hard time about.
Okay, great. I'm here. I'm not for sure if you can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
Mr. Kelly, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure, man. So actually pulling up the slides as well now. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother. What incredible energy from Mr. Jeffrey Lewis, and what phenomenal information has been shared. I want to thank Mr. Daniel Gonzalez and the leadership team here. You guys just don't know what type of gems you have in your midst. And anytime I'm doing a training, whether I'm in my home state or traveling abroad, I always try to encourage the environment to realize to not take the people that they have around them for granted. And often because we know familiarity breeds contempt, we could be around these rock stars and they seem like normal people. They go somewhere else in North America. They actually, folks, are heralded, right, as superstars. And so we just want to make sure that you got some of the best, and they wake up early, they stay up late to make sure that you have an environment that is conducive for your success. So again, what we want to do is just spend a few minutes with you today to share some information with you that could benefit you as you continue to go and grow through your Legal Shield business. And for many of you, this may be your first time hearing from me. So I'll make sure I share my story with you as we were getting involved in Legal Shield. And it's an exciting thing to know that as you're starting your journey here, that you can dictate and decide. All right, great. So you can decide when you go to the next level in your business. And I'll never forget when I first got started. I was 27 years of age. I owned a barbershop. My wife owned a styling salon. We loved what we did, but we hated the fact that we were spending 60 to 70 hours a week away from one another and our 4 children. There was something about waking up in the morning, kissing our kids goodbye as we were taking them to school, and then knowing that we weren't going to kiss them again until it was time to put them in the bed. That just didn't sit very well with us. And my mentor told me, he said, James, listen, if you want something different, you got to be willing to do something different. And we got involved with Legal Shield because it was introduced as something different. And so I just want to tell you that you made the right decision in getting started. You made the right decision in getting started, right? Because the journey of a million miles always begins with the first step. And sometimes the first step is the hardest. But we made the decision, on a part-time basis. I was looking just to make an extra $1,000 on a monthly basis to be able to cut back my hours on Saturdays so I could be a more present father, with the 4 beautiful Kelly kids, which you'll just see here in just a second. But we started out making an extra $800 our first 30 days because we followed this proven success system and we trusted our leadership. And within about 4 months, we made over $6,500 in extra income because we stuck with it. And there's going to be something about, something significant that you need to know, folks, about staying. Okay. So starting is sexy, but staying is significant, right? And again, that's what Mr. Alex Shahid told me in the training that he did not too long ago. It's so true, right? Starting is sexy, but staying is significant, right? So if you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. Within about a year, we hit the top position of the company, and this was way before technology. I mean, every appointment we did, we had to go and be in front of somebody to show them the picture, the presentation, the vision of Legal Shield. Can you believe that? For some of you that are just now getting started and you've never had to submit an application through UPS or send it in by mail, you're like, it's no way possible that this company used to actually use paper applications. But yeah, we actually did, right? And the information didn't get submitted the same day. It could take a day, 2 days. If you mailed it, it was a week before a corporate office got it. But now at the click of a button, you could be getting your applications processed, right? So things changed. But in 12 months, with no industry experience, we were able to hit the top position of the company. And what I want you to know is that no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what your challenges are, no matter what you're being confronted with, once you establish that you're not going to allow any challenge to keep you from growing to the desired potential of your business, it doesn't matter what the obstacles are, right? Because obstacles are really only things that we see when we take our eyes off our goal. So we had our own set of challenges, and we grew through those challenges to hit the top position of the company on a part-time basis. And we were able to retire my wife once we hit executive because we were able to replace that income. And within about a year after that, she, of course, was designing her own days, and it looked like so much fun that I wanted to be at home as well. Again, I was able to, at 29, walk away from what I was doing full-time as a barber. And we started traveling the country doing what we feel like God has purposed us to do. And that's to liberate other people, right? And I truly believe, right, that, what is success if you only get a chance to enjoy it by yourself? So success without successors is truly failure in my eyesight. And so our goal is today, right, is to show you, to allow you to see the vision for what it is. And I think it's funny to go through, what we've been experiencing this year, right? Things that have tried to create such a cloud over our country so that we can't really see clearly what is available to us. And during any uncertainty, what I need you to know is that there's hidden possibility. During any uncertainty, there's hidden possibility. And at the beginning of the year, I created this training, and it's called I Can See Clearly Now. I Can See Clearly Now 2020, because at any time, right, if you're getting started today, it's your first time, getting on the training, right, you can create a new vision. Guess what? If you've been in 6 months and you kind of, got stuck at a certain position and you're figuring out, like, am I really going to build this business? Because sometimes you can have a lot of success right up front, but attaining success and maintaining success are two completely different things, right? So maybe you're at a crossroad. Do I really want to invest my time and energy to create a profession in the world of network marketing and become a pro, right? So if you're there, guess what? Today, you can decide to catch a new vision, right? But it's got to be crystal clear. Maybe you're involved for 10 years or better, like me and my wife were. 2 years ago, when we made another decision to put our dirty work clothes back on and get back into the day-to-day phase one activity of building this business. And we went from, qualifying executive director on the last day of the month to reaching the platinum executive director level. And guess what? That tag on there that says 100K ring and platinum executive director, because we created a vision, which is the first point of this talk on today, is that we had to create a vision well before the vision actually took place, right? So I had a 100K ring and platinum executive on the slide before we actually were able to accomplish the position, because you have to see it before you see it. So, I can see clearly now, and we want to help you to create a crystal clear picture. And so some of my purpose, right, in business and in life is to help people see where they are, help them to understand where they want to go, and then also to clearly define the action steps that are necessary in order to get there. And then prayerfully today, that's what we're going to help you to do as well, right? So number one, the first thing you want to write down is that you got to have a big vision, right? You got to have a big vision when you first get started. And here's what I want you to know. Some of you that are concerned about your recruiting, the reason why the recruiting isn't where you want it to be is because your vision isn't big enough as of yet, right? You're seeing enough for yourself, but you haven't created an environment where it can be much, much bigger. What I want you to know is that people want to be a part of something that is bigger than them. See, Mr. Michael Humes, the gentleman that is centered in the middle of that picture, we were on a yacht on a Tuesday, and all of us surrounding Mr. Mike Humes, right, who is a $600,000 ring earner. He went from being a mailman to a millionaire, but he had a big vision, right? He saw this yacht party on a Tuesday long before this event ever took place. And so all of the people that are surrounding him, myself and my wife included, we're all now ring earners on his team. You know why? Because he had a big vision that allowed us to be able to fit into it. And here's what I need you to get, that your vision has to be big enough so that somebody can borrow your vision long enough in order to be able to catch a new vision of their own. Your vision has to be big enough for somebody else to be able to borrow your vision long enough for them to be able to catch a new vision for themselves, right? And so right off the bat, when we first got involved with this amazing company, we wrote down, right? We didn't have all the technology, so we had to keep up with our own recruits to some degree. But we wrote down on a blueprint that we were going to build the Davis Kelly empire, right? That's what we wrote down right off the beginning. We knew that we were going to build an empire once we really got serious about our business. So we put the Davis Kelly empire. For those of you that don't know, that Mrs. Kelly and I weren't married when we first got involved with Legal Shield. Legal Shield helped to solidify our union in marriage, and we celebrated our wedding. And then, of course, let Legal Shield pay for our honeymoon in Las Vegas. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But what I want you to know is that Legal Shield offers other benefits besides the membership as well as the member perks, right? But again, understand that when we got involved, we weren't married, but we had a vision for what our family was going to look like. And I'm talking about our Legal Shield family. So what I need you to know is that in today's society, most people suffer from an impediment called possibility blindness, right? We're talking about vision here, and it's often talked about in Legal Shield. You're encouraged to dream and begin to start thinking about things that may not be your current reality as though they can be and one day soon will be. But a lot of times in life, right, people suffer from what's called possibility blindness. And it's not their fault. It's not your fault. If you look at limitations, if you see the glass half empty instead of half full, you know why? Because we were created and designed for success, but we've been programmed and conditioned to fail in our society today. They told you that if you didn't pass a test, you failed, right? But how many of us know that some of these C students who didn't do so well in the classroom, but learned how to work well with people, they went to school, right, to learn how to deal with relationships and to learn how to solve problems. And those people now are the people who own the companies, and the A students work for the C students. You know why? Because they had a different mindset about what was important. But we want you to know that here in business, you can literally fail your way to success as long as you have the right vision, right? And so, a lot of times in school, you're taught that, failure is permanent. But the reality is, folks, and that's why I love teaching here, because I learned here that secondary education will make you a living, but it's self-education that'll make you a fortune. It's being on events like this. When I plugged in to Legal Shield's University of Success, I learned that just because people didn't have a degree, they didn't have a background in business, that they could still go on and be massively successful if they just put themselves in the right position, got around the right associations, as well as follow the system of success that Legal Shield provides here. And what I learned here was that in order to be able to build a business, you had to be able to see it right yourself. Because how can you see it right, say it right if you don't see it right? I'm gonna ask you that question again. I want you to write it down. How can you say it right if you don't see it right? So if you don't see it right yourself, then there's going to be difficulty when it comes to recruiting, right? Which is the key to time and financial freedom, is to attract people. And if you can't see it right yourself, that it's much, much bigger than what it is currently, right? That just because I'm behind on my bills right now doesn't mean that this time next year I won't be debt-free and completely, living in a land of abundance. Because guess what? You could literally alter the course of your life. We just saw Mr. Aaron Browning on the slides, right? The gentleman made a couple $100,000 his first 12 months in Legal Shield. Now, is that normal? No. But are you normal? No, you don't have to be. You can dictate, when you become extraordinary about the things that you do and being in the right environment at the right time. So once you learn, right, number one, to have a big vision, right, to see it bigger than yourself right off the bat, then you'll learn how to be able to say it, in a way that it affects other people, right? And one of the most important skills that you need to learn here, one of the most important skills that you need to learn here in your business is how to paint pictures with your words that will actually compel men and women to take action in their lives. One of the most important skills that you'll learn here is the ability, right, to paint pictures with your words that will compel men and women to take action in their lives. Because what I need you and everyone else to understand is that sight is a function, right, of the eye, but vision is a function of the heart. And what we convey should be coming from the heart, like what Mr. Lewis was just doing a second ago. Even though he was talking about some very fundamental things, the passion that comes out of him was telling you that he sees a vision for what the conference is going to be even before the conference comes. That's what compels men and women to go and get registered early, right? So, if you realize that, your vision comes from your heart and not your circumstances, you can move the needle. They did an interview one time with Helen Keller. They say, hey, listen, you're blind. You've done all these amazing things. How have you been able to do it? And she said so candidly, so profoundly, right? I'd much rather be blind and have no sight than to have sight with no vision. It takes vision to build a big business, okay? So as we're looking at building a big business, you get a chance to realize, folks, and point number 2 is that you have to identify where you are currently. Where are you currently, right? You got to identify where you are currently. And so as you're building a business, one of the most important signs they ever created in a mall was the "You Are Here" sign, right? You are here sign. And if you've ever kind of, gotten distracted in a mall, maybe you went shopping and really were just enjoying yourself, and you went to one of those signs to figure out where you parked in comparison to where you weren't, you could not kid yourself about where your car was. If you were on the other side of the mall and your car was parked at the other end, you couldn't pretend, right, that your car was right outside because you were going to be stuck there for a while. Now, you had to put your walking shoes on, and you had to get yourself, no matter how tired your feet were, onto the other end of the mall so you could get to your car and actually get into the vehicle that was going to take you home. Well, it's the same way in your Legal Shield business, right? You've got to learn that if you haven't developed the ability to prospect well, it's okay, right? It's okay to be bad in the beginning as long as you intend to get better in any facet of your Legal Shield business. So again, if you have challenges prospecting, guess what? We can identify that, and we'll talk about that in just a second. If you're not good at presenting as of yet, which is a key skill in order to build your business, guess what? You can get better at that. But right now, if you don't do either of those well, those are key components to building your business. So you can't kid yourself about whether or not you know how to send a video out on Prospect by Legal Shield. If you don't know how to do that, then it's difficult for you to build and to grow a successful business, not only personally, but to also duplicate that throughout your organization, right? So just to understand this. Now, right now, you're working a full-time job, and as you're working your full-time job, you realize that you know exactly how much they're going to pay you per hour, no matter how well you do your job, okay? If you're working a full-time job that pays you per hour, you know exactly how much they're going to pay you, no matter if you're whistling while you work, if you speak to everybody when you walk in, make it a better environment, you still get paid that same $20 an hour, right? Now, the way to increase your income is not to work more hours, it's to put yourself in a position where you can actually get paid what you're worth per the hour that you're spending in building your business. And what I want you to know that is if you go out as a new senior associate making $132 every time you market a membership, if you work overtime on your full-time job and you actually spent, just 7 hours in a week and you made $20 an hour, that's an extra $210 for the week. But with your Legal Shield business, folks, if you went out and just wrote one membership a day, spending that same 1 hour, I call this 1 hour of overtime, this may be helpful to somebody because a lot of times when you get off from work, in your part-time business, we don't treat our business like we treat our job. Because if they tell us we have to be there at 9, when do we start getting ready for that 9 o'clock assignment? At 7, right? Because we still got to get there, except those of you that got an 8-minute commute now that you're working from home. But we give an extra 2 or 3 hours a day of our time to a job. Again, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you love what you do, we're excited about it. But if you're the type of person that is dissatisfied with what it is that you're doing, now you can build an environment, but you got to schedule your business time just like you schedule your work time. And when I thought about the 1 hour of overtime, like I was doing when I was consulting at Humana, right? They would make us work 2 hours of overtime. And I know in those second 2 hours or those last 2 hours, people did probably 30% of the production that they did for the entire day because they had zoned out by that time. But I learned to start working my business on a part-time basis with Legal Shield, just like I would do at a full-time job as an overtime hour. So when you get off, now you're carving out at least 1 hour a day to build your part-time business. So for the part-timers, guess what? You can build significant full-time income on a part-time basis. Here's how. If you are just successful at doing 2 30-minute presentations, that is 1 hour of work, 7 days a week, and you fail at a 50% rate, that means that you sell $132 plan per day. Over the course of a week, the same hour that you were giving away to a boss, and get this, if you don't go out and build your own dream, somebody else will hire you to build theirs, right? But the same $210 that your job was willing to pay you prior to taking taxes out for $210 that week, you would make over $840 in extra income on a part-time basis. Multiply that over a year. Just write one membership a day. That's over $40,000 in extra income, folks. You'd be right there at almost a $50,000 range just by marketing one membership a day. So remember, retirement has really nothing to do with your age. Like, how old do you have to be to retire? Right? Really, it has nothing to do with age. It's how much money you have in your bank account is when you can dictate and decide when you're going to retire. But you got to know where you are in order to define where you're going. So what is your why, right? And knowing your why helps you to define where you are, right? And helps you to see crystal clear what it is that you're building your Legal Shield business for, okay? And I believe that why is an acronym for what hurts you. And I know you hear this in the Fast Start training, and often people say, well, why do they keep on bringing up my why? It's because no matter where you are in the process of building your Legal Shield business, you have to keep your why in front of you. And I tell you what, these amazing children, Jordan just turned 25. He's my oldest son. He was my reason for living. And, again, in my teenage years when I first had him and getting myself together, because he gave me a purpose for living, right? So he's 25 now, and he's an international recording artist, Mr. Jalen Kelly, down at the bottom on the left. And this gentleman just, graduated from the University of Kentucky. He's 22 years of age. Again, he came along and altered everything with his unique personality and, just a style all his own. Miss Jador Kelly to the right, again, who is a breath of fresh air. When she smiles, she lights up the room for folks. And then Jabrielle Kelly, who is the youngest, but her and Jador are the same age range. They're both sophomores in college. So I had big reasons to build this business. And along the way, when people told me that Legal Shield would never work, I had to keep in mind that I was building my business for the person who was in the middle, Mrs. Kanika Kelly and those Kelly crew, right? As opposed to listening to what other people were saying. So why are you here? Okay, is it time and financial freedom? Are you looking for the ability to enjoy the money that you're making? Because I was time freedom broke. Well, what do you want to be? Is it the type of person that influences other people to come out of their shell and do things that they've never done? And again, you can see my sister up at the top, and that was closing one of her first group accounts with a major, television production show or studio, and we were able to get that as an account with her and for her. Now she's one of the top producers in the business arena in Legal Shield, right? So we're building a family empire. Is it, helping people from across the country be able to identify what some of their purposes are? What is it that you want to do? Is it, to be able to, stand at atop, mountains in Mexico? And, I've always been a daredevil to some degree, right? So Legal Shield has provided us with opportunities to go out and do things that we've only dreamed about. Is it, parasailing? And my wife hates water and she hates heights, but she wouldn't let me parasail without her. You can see her smiling now as we came closer to the water. Is it, again, going and experiencing amazing events? And I know Mr. Rick Mason, the former CEO of the company, invited us to the Indianapolis, racing event. We got a chance to be there. I live in Kentucky and never been to an Indianapolis 500 race until Legal Shield. Is it being on the stage, speaking in front of some of your colleagues and business partners and, even your mentors, which is what was depicted up in the top? What do you want to have, right? And I promise you, prior to Legal Shield, I never thought that I was going to be doing what I'm doing with you right now. But Legal Shield provided an environment where we could start to dream bigger what was available. And what do you have? Is it more income from different places? And that's a Canadian check. And I tell you what, that check spends differently. Is it becoming a ring earner? And my wife is depicted there showing the 50K ring when we got it. And she was accepting the ring in one state. And I was actually at the state championship with my daughter, who plays basketball. And in high school, I was one of only 2 dads that were at the event when our daughters were competing for a national title at the high school level, right? Is it building a big team who get a chance to celebrate moments with you like we did when we first got the 745 BMW and let Legal Shield pay for it? Or is it meeting with team all across the country? And as you can see, we've got an amazing group of professionals with our organization down at the bottom, right? And we met in Vegas to get better. And when we learn together, we grow together. But even better than that, folks, we were coming from all different, it was a diaspora of people coming from all different places in the country, all to work on the purpose. And that's the level of legal playing field. So you can have everything that you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want in life. And that was Mr. Zig Ziglar's quote. I encourage you to write that down, right? Because that's the goal in order to build a big business. But the system is what makes it all possible. The system is what makes it all possible. And here's what I need you to know, right? That, system is an acronym, number one, for save yourself some time, energy, and money. System is an acronym for save yourself some time, energy, and money. And the system makes duplication possible. Any one of us starting part-time, if you're really serious about building a business, even at the best of us could only put in an extra 4 or 5 hours a day outside of our full-time jobs when we first get involved with Shield. The only way you can ever get to the place where you have 24 hours of work going into your business is if you have more people putting in more hours. And so our system allows you to be able to employ the efforts of other people without employing them as an employee to you. They become a partner, a business partner, and not an employee. And now together we can create a system of duplication that can liberate us all. So trust the process, don't rush the process, right? Trust the process, don't rush the process. It takes 18 years to become an 18-year-old. So why do we rush ourselves in business, right? Some people are in 6 months and they're comparing themselves with somebody who's been in for 6 years, and you don't realize the extent of experience that goes along with being around for a little while. So trust the process, and you can move with urgency without rushing. I'm gonna say that again. You can move with urgency, with speed and boldness without rushing. And oftentimes, hopefully you hear this, comparing yourself to other people's success is one of the worst things that you can do, because you really have no idea what they came packaged with when they came into the Legal Shield environment. Some of them already had experience before they got there. And from the surface, it looks like you have the same set of circumstances, but behind the scenes, that's why I always love connecting with other people, because that's where you get the story behind the story. So trust your own process and fall in love with the process, okay? Again, if you fall in love with the process, you can recruit a superstar, right? You can have a Daniel Gonzalez on your team. You can actually have a Mr. Jeffrey Lewis, right? Or Mr. Joshua Lockhart. Anyone can recruit a superstar, even from 300 miles away. I live in Possibility City, Kentucky. That's Louisville, for those of you that don't know, right? But from 300 miles away, we actually have Mr. and Mrs. Delvito Johns and Alicia Dukes, who are now a part of the Florida leadership group. And we were able to recruit them. They were here locally, but now they're there. We're building an amazing team in Florida, because guess what? The system is making it possible. So be system dependent versus being people dependent. If you join this business just for a specific person, then that's going to only last short term. You got to figure out how to become system dependent, because guess what? Systems don't fail even when people do. And then, of course, learn to be the messenger and not the message. So point number three. So number one, you got to have a big vision. Number two, know where you are in your current life as it relates to the skills necessary to build a Legal Shield business. And then what your reason why is. Be crystal clear about that. Remember, I can see clearly now in 2020 is the goal of this, and 2020 is perfect vision. So point number three, folks, is you have to work on you. You've got to go to work on you. I've been around 17 years now, and I've watched so many people give up on their business and they blame somebody else, like it was corporate's fault that they missed a bonus, and they didn't like how the experience went. It was their sponsor's fault because they didn't pick up the phone when they needed them to do a three-way call, and somebody actually hung up and didn't pick back up, right? Because of whatever that was. And it was my sponsor's fault. They wouldn't help me, right? But the reality in this business is, if you're going to be successful, you have to take full ownership of your business, and you've got to go to work on you. So you must fight the daily battles, the daily personal development and exposure battles of your life, right? You've got to do the personal prospecting daily and personal development daily, but do realize that you can't win the war of success all by yourself, okay? So as you're building a business, the daily stuff has to be a personal responsibility of yours. And when you decide, right, that I'm gonna read 10 pages of a good book a day, and I know a lot of this is mindset, and some of you are saying, I've heard this before. But if you've heard it, are you actually doing it? It's not 10 pages every couple of days. It's 10 pages a day. It's 15 minutes of a good audio a day. Turning your car into a drive time university. Turning off the television or CNN, which we consider to be constant negative news. If you hop in the radio, hop in the car and turn on the radio, all they're telling us about is all the melee and the hostility that's going on, and not people coming across the aisle to actually connect, but to be divisive, right? And to separate. But that's not what we're about. But what you listen to is what you're going to focus on, right? So you got to make sure that you're developing yourself personally, and you want to get yourself, your personal development bank, to 150% at the start of each day, because guess what? Life is going to come to make withdrawals. And if you're not built up in your bank for personal development, when people continually take away from you, what's going to happen is you're going to go into the negative. And has anybody ever had an overdraft fee? I'm telling you, it happens in real life as well, not just in your bank account. So you got to build yourself up with the personal development. And again, people say, again, well, how did you stick around so long? How did you get from, not even believing that you were ever going to make the six-figure income to now looking forward to helping other people to get it? Well, it was because we believed enough in the personal development that was being poured into us to know that one day it was going to come out. And there's things designed for you on the top shelf of life that it's hard for you to reach right now because it's set up at the top. But how do you get there? Well, you got to stand on the books that you read, right? You got to stand on the audio cassettes or CDs or the MP3s that you listen to, not MP3s, but the streaming that we have now, right? And so when you have all of these things, folks, available to you, you can stand on the shoulders of people who have come before you. But then you still got to go out and do the work daily, because the prospecting of our business is the foundation of building a big business. And also, your associations are so key. Your associations are so key. Understanding your business, you get a chance to choose the family that you build here in Legal Shield. We got involved in this business up front because of the money that we were going to make, but we stay involved in this business because of the relationships that we built. You may want to jot that down, right? When you get involved, you're going to get involved for the money that you can make up front, but you stay involved because of the relationships that you build. And when you build solid relationships here, people that are going to lift you up and not pull you down, because there is no in between. I want you to know that the people are either going to lift you up or they're going to pull you down. There is no in between. And so you got to build the positive associations here. And that means you got to come out of your comfort zone, right? And plug in, participate. Because in order to be powerful in public, you've got to be plugged in private to build the relationships that are necessary. And when you get in an environment like this, you know that there's winners, right? You've heard from many of them on today. And we want you to emanate that same light so that you can be a light for somebody else. But if you look around your circle of influence, your circle of friends, and you don't get inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. And maybe it's time for you to start changing the associations, because when you change your associations, you also will change your perspective on what is possible for you, so you can build and grow a business to the degree that you desire to build it. So again, daily, you got to go out and fight those battles. And when you go through, and we're going to step forward now, which is the system. We'll talk a little bit about the system and we'll get ready to wrap up here. So as we build, right, in this system of success, and the reason why I pulled up this slide is because we want you to understand that there is a system that is in place. And hopefully you recognize that if you plug yourself into the system, at the end of the conveyor belt of this system, it only knows success. Our system only knows success. But the people in the system who actually veer from the system, or they move away from the system, oftentimes experience setbacks, or they experience more failure than necessary because they actually try to do it their own way. So we're going to ask you, number one, to be coachable. And coachable, right, is so important because we can learn, right? You're in the classroom right now and you're learning. That's being teachable. But coachable means once you get out in the field, maybe you're doing some things that are not in your best benefit. And what a coach is able to do is they're able to see things from the coach's box that you may not be able to see, because what you see depends on where you sit. You got a coach right now telling you, hey, listen, no, you probably could tweak this. You probably could, share this in this fashion. Maybe if you plugged into this training, maybe if you got this focus, you're minoring or majoring in the minors as opposed to minoring in the majors. And if they're sharing that with you, sometimes we're like, man, I'm not listening to that person. And we're costing ourselves time, energy, and success that's available because we're not allowing ourselves to be coached. It is so important to shave off time frames by allowing somebody else to speak into your life that has your best interests at heart to help you to move around the bases much, much quicker. So there's 4 key skills, right, that you need to develop. I already told you about 2 of them. 4 key skills that I feel like have helped us to build an organization of over 4,500 people in our tenure in Legal Shield, to have written over 1,700 personal memberships in our tenure in Legal Shield. Now, we're not the most accomplished membership getters. We're not the most accomplished recruiters, but we built a team where 90% of our income comes in whether or not we're working. And again, that's to the tune of over a 6-figure income, in a 12-month time frame. And it's been a blessing to do that, because in order to have accomplished that, we've had to touch a lot of lives. And the only way we can touch all those lives is through the system that I'm showing you right now. All right, great. So there's 4 key skills that have helped us to develop that. And you can actually build a successful team by understanding these skills, embracing them, and applying them into your Legal Shield business routinely, and then learning to master those skills as you go along. So the first one is prospecting, right? What is prospecting? Prospecting is finding people to talk to. So you can either be warm market prospecting, cold market prospecting. Warm market is the people that you already know or that know you. Cold market is meeting people along the way that you don't necessarily know. And then, of course, we also have lead generation and programs where there's online opportunity seekers that are looking for a way to be able to generate additional income. Well, either way, any of those 3, as a matter of fact, you can add a 4th in prospecting because we want to get good at getting referrals. Anytime you share Legal Shield with somebody, you want to look at getting referrals from those people. So prospecting is the number one primary responsibility of a network marketer in any given day. The number one, right? Before you do anything else, prospecting is key. And so we say if you're part-time, at least 2 exposures a day, right? If you're full-time, the goal is to do at least 3 to 5 exposures. And if you're seriously full-time, right, you want to be doing above that because, again, you have the capacity now to build and to grow your business at a much faster pace. All right, so number 1 is prospecting. And so, number 2 is presenting. The next phase of the business is presentation, okay? Next phase of the business is presentation. And that is talking to the people that you find, all right? And learning how to have a quality presentation is more than just sharing Legal Shield. It is reselling yourself on the vision of Legal Shield every time you share it with someone else. Because the person across the table from you, the person across the Zoom from you, may not see it the way you see it, but every time you share it, you show it to yourself all over again. And you actually crystallize your resolve on why you're building a Legal Shield business because you're sharing your own why. You're sharing your story and testimony. You're sharing the testimonies of the people that you help. And it reminds you every day why you're building your Legal Shield business. And nobody can talk you out of it when you reiterate to yourself. It's auto-suggestion. It's self-programming the things that are positive in your business. And so that's presentation. Number 3 is duplication. Number 3 is duplication. Okay, and that is actually getting the people that you've recruited into your team, because when you start presenting and doing that well, people are going to actually get the membership. People are going to join as an associate. Well, once they join, now we want to duplicate what you do in the lives of other people. Okay, so duplication is number 3. And what I want you to know, jot this note down. Whatever you do in business, good or bad, is going to duplicate. I'm going to say that again, right? Whatever you do in business, good or bad, is going to duplicate. So you have to be careful with what you do, because if you do things that you don't want to duplicate because you're just trying to get short-term results, what will happen is you'll look up and a few months from now, you'll be having to rectify issues that you couldn't stop because you had put them in motion. And once they went away from you, it's difficult to siphon poison out of a pond, even if it's a small drop, because you don't know where to go and get it. So you got to be careful, right? And learn how to do the right things right up front so you can duplicate the good stuff and be mindful that your associates are going to catch more than what you teach them. They're going to catch more than what you teach them. So you have to be careful. And so what we've heard in leadership circles is that you're always on. In business, a lot of times people say, well, why don't you relax a little bit, right? But when I'm conducting business, I always have to be on. You know why? Because people will catch some of the things when I relax, right, as I'm looking to build a business, and they'll catch the things that I didn't even intend to teach them if I'm not paying attention and being on. That doesn't mean that you don't have downtime. We work hard, but we play hard as well. You saw it in the first picture. But do realize, folks, that when we're working, we've got to be on. And that's even while we're on a Zoom, right? So dress sharp, be attentive, sit up front, lean into, right? Participate in the chat. All of that stuff matters when you're building a business. And then number 4 is leadership. Number 4 is leadership, right? And that's where you develop into the type of person that other people will want to follow. And here's what I want you to know. You can actually be great at prospecting, great at presenting, great at duplication, but if you don't learn how to lead, then your success will be short-lived. And so learning how to lead is the fabric, right? The string that pulls all of these other things together. And that's what's helped us to build an amazing organization, right? Is learning how through the leadership development in Legal Shield. And understand that, of course, this is a personal development company with a compensation plan attached to it. And you get a chance to be a part of that. And the better you become, the more income you can. So you now have the strategy to run a big business. So when you first get started, you're going to encourage people to build a big list. But guess what? You're going to continue to add upon that list as you move along. And your number one job is to approach people and pique interest. That is prospecting. Okay, that is prospecting. Now, once you get a person to be open and interested, we're going to send them a third-party tool. And then we're going to learn how to edify people. And I know some of you are saying, man, I've heard this before. Well, listen, I'm telling you, we got to reiterate the things that helped us to duplicate over and over and over again, because, of course, when you're looking at building a business, repetition is the mother of all skill. And learning how to master the mundane is how most of the most successful people in Legal Shield have built to the level of success that they have. So you learn how to speak well of other people. And because we live in a negative society, people know how to talk bad about each other, but we have to teach them how to speak highly of one another in our company. So when you hear people speaking to other people in a way that denotes respect, just know that that is intentional, because when we speak highly of one another, we lift each other up. When we're speaking to other people, that edification now is going to carry over, and that deference is going to be shared with the people that we're looking to talk to. So once you got the person open and you move them to the next step in the process, maybe they send a short video, you're now going to get them on a three-way call with an expert. And the expert can be anybody, right, that has had a little bit of success in Legal Shield. They're going to invite them to do a live presentation where they can see the rest of the information. And then we're going to go to the close, where you actually get them to make a decision, which is a part of the presentation as well. And then, of course, once we get them to home base, we're going to get them started all over again. So the person that has the most success is the person who's running people around these bases with the most frequency and the most regularity. And in the middle of all of this, folks, as you can see, is training, which is what we're doing right now. Now, some of these concepts, right, are things that'll evolve and change, right? We went from phone calls that actually pique people's interest to now, to CDs and DVDs. And then we moved to now where people can get a click of a button and actually watch a video. Well, no matter whether the concept changes or not from the third-party tool, the principles are still the same, that we move people around the bases. And what I want you to know is that you don't have to bat 1,000. When you get good at the regularity of prospecting, presenting, duplication, and leadership, when you get good at the regularity, you're going to have the large numbers actually come into effect to help you to win and to win big. And what I need you to know is that in baseball, Jim Rohn says that you could actually strike out 7 times out of 10, and you only hit the ball 3 times, and it will be successful to pay you $4 million a year. In the world of Legal Shield, it's a similar numbers game, right? If you get 10 people going around the bases and only 3 out of every 10 that actually see the presentation and want to get involved, are actually join you every single month, you get 3 new people. Before you know it, you're going to get 3 and then show those 3 how to get 3. Now you're at 9, right? You teach those 9 how to get 3 as well, just by doing the same thing. 3 out of 10, you're at 27. You teach those 27 how to get 3, 81, 243, right? 846. You get about massive exponential growth by following a simple, proven system to help people become successful. Now, here's what I want you to know. Once people get on the field, sometimes they'll want to steal a base. They'll want to move too fast or move too slow. And here's what I want you to know, that as a coach, it's not your job to make people become successful. It's not your job to make people become successful. It's your job to teach people. Hopefully I just freed you there, right? Because some people, you looking like, man, I got my cousin joined, and I helped somebody in my family join, a coworker, and it's hard for me to look at them every day because they haven't had success in Legal Shield. But you got to ask yourself, did they show up for Fast Start training? Did they get on the weekly Zoom, right, to learn how to do the presentation and invite guests? Did they do their first private business Zoom or private Zoom conference where they can invite guests to see the presentation and let you do the presentation? Would you believe that you would be willing to do all the work for a new associate, and they won't even do the work to invite the people that are closest to them to see the information, and they would still blame somebody else for not having success in Legal Shield? But it's in that situation, it's not your job to make them become successful. It's just your job to teach them the system of success, and it's up to them to follow you along the pathway of success in order to create the success that they desire. And when I learned that I couldn't carry people in business, I learned that I couldn't force people to become successful. Even though they had the most potential in the world, I freed myself mentally and physically, and it allowed me to start focusing on the people who deserved my time and not just the people who wanted my time, not just people who I was trying to give my time away from to. And what you have to learn here is how to make people or teach people how to earn your time. And when you do that, folks, you'll learn how to be the type of leader, again, that grows a business that is systemic and not completely contingent upon you. I can't tell you how many times I said, I'm going to make this person successful if it kills me, right? I almost died a couple times, I feel like. But the reality is, folks, is once I learned to really just drive the system home, more people had success. And so when it comes to building your business, not everything is always going to work out. And I need you to know, right, that sometimes it's going to be painful to have people tell you no. You prospect people, you build up the courage, the nerve to say, hey, listen, I'm building a business part-time. I'm expanding here in the area. You seem sharp. Would you be open to making some extra money? And somebody throws your card in your face or throws it away, right? If you're meeting them out and about, or you reach out to a friend or a family member, they're picking up at first when we were talking about the finals for the NBA. But when we're talking about this NBA, the No Bosses Association, they stopped picking up. That is painful, folks. But here's what I want you to know, that most people want to shine bright like a diamond, but they're unwilling to get cut like one. And in prospecting, it's important to be okay with getting cut. You would take a bullet for your child, right? If that is your reason why you're building your business, why wouldn't you take a no? And that no cuts like, again, like a knife sometimes. But the reality is, folks, is that the only way to establish brilliance in a diamond is to actually go through the cuts. So you got to go through your own personal cuts in prospecting. And I brought all of this up to share with you that as a coach, when you're building a business and now people come to you, if they have a lot of people, right, getting to, that they're getting on the phone with, but they're not getting them to a presentation, then they're messing up in phase one of prospecting. They may get people to be open, but they may not be moving them well to a third-party tool and then getting them on a three-way call. So we now can address the prospecting if they're not getting a lot of people in front of the information. Guess what? If they're doing a great job of prospecting, but we're getting to presentation and people are not signing up, now we can address, hey, we might have to work on the presentation, the close, the length of time that you're taking to do a presentation, right? Some of the stuff that you're actually saying within the presentation to overcome objections before you even get to the end. Like all of those things can be shored up. And if we got a lot of people seeing Legal Shield, but they're not joining, and it's above the law of numbers that really should be there, the 3 or 4 out of every 10 that are getting the membership or joining in business, now you can address the presentation. You can say, hey, look, let's do some coaching there. If people are getting people through the presentation, they get a lot of people to join, but they only got 20 people on their front line, which shouldn't happen, by the way. If you're building for some structure and depth, then you realize that they're using their influence and they're building a big business, but they're not duplicating. They're not doing something that's going to duplicate. They're only doing what works. And that's not going to, again, have success or quantify success long term. So then we can go to the duplication. Do we have people going to fast start training? Are we having people doing their game plan interview within the first 24 to 48 hours, right? That makes all the difference in the world. And when I saw a power pivot in our business, and what I want you to know is that, again, we were doing well at the beginning of the year, but it wasn't until COVID-19 happened where the rug was pulled out from under us, right? Literally, because things were going well. The hotel events were taking place and doing Super Saturdays, the team was going to different states. But then when all of that was pulled away, we had to reevaluate how we built the business. But during the pandemic, we started looking at the facets of our business that would allow us to grow the most. And one of the biggest power pivots was moving from doing game plan interviews within the first 3 or 4 days to doing them the same day, getting the person launched. We could only do a private business reception within the first 3 to 5 days when the person got started. But once we started doing Zooms, guess what? We could get a new person to Zoom the same day or the next day. And that was exactly when we were going to do it, because we had the ability to now, at the click of a button, get the information in front of people. Once we shifted that, folks, our production and recruiting literally grew exponentially. And we, got almost, up until this point, 100 recruits on a monthly basis. And it wasn't just us, folks. It was the fact that the team bought into it and they started running people around the bases as well. So I'm going to wrap up with this, right? And this is number 5, and it's sacrifice. I've shared with you, number 1, what it takes to build a big business. Number 1, to be attractive, you got to have a big vision. Number 2, you got to know where you are, identify that, right? And utilize the coaching to help you to see if you're at a different place and then identify what you need to do in order to get from where you are to where you want to be. Number 3, you got to fight the daily battles of prospecting, presentation, and personal development on your own, but you can only win the war of success by building a team if you're building a networking business. Number 4 is the system. Lean on the system, because the system doesn't fail even when people do. Number 5 is sacrifice. My mentor, Mr. Mike Humes, always asks us, hey, listen, what are you willing to give up in order to go up? What are you willing to give up in order to go up? And I see it this way, right? That in order to get what you want, you have to be willing to sacrifice in the beginning what you actually want in the end. I'm gonna say that again. In order to get what you want, right, in the end, you gotta be willing to sacrifice that thing in increments in the beginning. So a lot of people want more time freedom. But what you have to understand is when you're building a part-time business, you got to put in 10 to 15 hours a week, which is what most part-timers are going to put in initially. Some of the same time that you want in the end, you got to be willing to sacrifice in the beginning. When the family is about to, go and have family time, and they're going to a family member's home to play games and, have dinner. If that's during your call time, sometimes you got to make the decision to allow the family to go and say, hey, listen, I'll be able to go next time, but this time I've committed myself to making my calls during this time. And that sacrifice sometimes is painful, right? Most of the time it's going to be painful, right? But it's necessary because one day soon, while everybody else is having to go off to work, you want to be able to take your family on a family vacation without looking at the price tag, right? So sometimes in the beginning, you got to be willing to sacrifice the time. When you're going to a convention and it's going to be an all-day event, you got to let your family know, like Mr. Lewis said, just put them in the closet sometimes. Like, hey, look, I can't have you disturbing me because I've got to get the information in me that is going to change our family tree forever. So you got to be willing to invest the time so you can have it in the end. Some people want to make more money, right? But the reality is that they're not willing to invest $20 a month to have Legal Shield Advantage so they can run their business from an automated standpoint. You got to be willing to invest the money up front in order to be able to have it as a return on investment in the end. So don't be cheap in building your business, right? Be willing to invest because I've never seen a business grow without continual investment in your business. Upgrade your membership. If you don't have, your home business supplement to protect yourself in the event that you ever get audited, make sure that you have that plan. Some people look at it as a cost. I look at it as an investment. When you go to making $50,000 to $100,000 a year, you could potentially have an audit coming your way because you're making a significant amount more money. Well, guess what? You want to have a program in place that already has. It's only $10 a month, but people look at that as a bill. It's an investment. A lot of times, folks, people don't want to sacrifice their social esteem from the ignorant people that are around them. And a lot of times, you got to be willing to look crazy in front of people in order to have a crazy lifestyle, right? And if I would have only stayed being a barber when I first got involved with Legal Shield, and COVID-19, which has taken scores and scores of lives because people had to be out in the public. As a barber, I would have literally had to risk my own life and the safety of my family's life by going to the barbershop every single day and still cutting people's hair, maybe potentially even against the law if I didn't have a secondary way to make income. But what I need you to know right now is that somebody may have placed this vehicle in your life even before you knew that it had purpose for you, before an incident like COVID-19 happened, so that you would already have a vehicle that would help you to get from where you are to where you want to be, and you could do it safely. Over the last 4 to 5 months, we haven't done one presentation outside of the home, and our income multiplied. Right, just last month, they paid us over $23,000 in commissions, bonuses, and incentives, and we did that from home. Now, I don't say that to impress you. I say it to impress upon you that there was a system that we put in place 17 years ago that is now paying dividends today because we were willing to make the sacrifices that were necessary. So what are you willing to give up in order to go up? Right? What are you willing to give up in order to go up? And you got to define that for yourself. Nobody else can tell you what your sacrifices are going to be, but all I need you to know is that there's going to be some sacrifices along the way. And whatever you're willing to sacrifice, right, with the right intention and then putting in the work, it doesn't make sense to sacrifice time and then sit at your desk and rearrange papers, right? During that hour that you got to be driving your business. And, of course, just falling in love with your phone in order to make sure that you're building your business, right? Because that time away has to be valuable enough for you to put in the work necessary in order for you to achieve the greatness that's on the inside of you. I see greatness in you. I can't even see all of it, but I just truly believe in the greatness on the inside of each person that God has created. And so once you know greatness is possible, good is no longer an option. And what I want you to know, guys, is along the way, you're going to have some things that don't go the way that you want them to. I'll tell you a quick story and I'm wrapping up. Along our way in Legal Shield, we're building a business. We hit executive in 12 months, and it's been a blessing, now because we've got team, Mr. and Mrs. Delvito Johns and Alicia Dukes, 10 months executives, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey Gamble and Brandy Pember. I was saying 3 names at one time. They were able to hit in 12 months, and Mr. Ryan Davis, only 10 months as well. Of course, Mr. and Mrs. Robert and Judy Foster, 5 months. Because we were able to do it in a short period of time, we were able to show others how to shave off their learning curve and do it in a much faster time period because of the systems that we were able to teach. And of course, the technology that's available to each and every one of us. But I want you to know that it wasn't always easy. In order for those people to show up in our business, we had to go through some challenging times when things weren't so well. And what do you do when things aren't so well? You got to figure out what your reason why is, because we're not going to be able to keep you around long, but your why will. We're not going to be able to keep you around long, but your why will. And I'll never forget being an executive director at Legal Shield, right? And we got this, big family, so we had to get a big vehicle. We had a, extended cab, Suburban, beautiful vehicle, was able to have all my children in there without touching each other. It was one of the best things we could ever do, right? Take them to school and different events and all the different stuff. Well, somewhere along the way, our business started slowing down, probably because we took our foot off the gas, which you don't want to do, right? Until your business is completely automated and it's growing every single day, because either your business is growing or it's dying. There is no in between. And so we had kind of taken our foot off the gas a little bit, and the money started to slow down a little bit, and we were executives, right? And I've made some poor financial decisions, so I won't blame it on the business. Legal Shield has always done whatever it was supposed to do based on what I was putting into the engine of this machine, this cash flow machine. But in this season of my life, my transmission goes out in my Suburban, right? And the car can still go forward, but it just won't go in reverse. Now get this. So I'm still having to do private business receptions, which means I'm having to show up at people's homes, and I'm the representation of success in Legal Shield as an executive and above. But my transmission is out, and I don't have the thousands of dollars that it would cost to get this big machine fixed at the time. So I had to drive it for a little while it was malfunctioning. So I had to show up at private business receptions, right? And so what I would do is I would either park the car up the road, or I would have to find a place that was on a hill that would allow me, right, to roll my car out. Same thing at weekly business briefings and things of that nature. I would have to pull into a parking space that either only allowed me to go forward, or it would actually, roll out of the parking space on its own. But the reason why I bring this up is because even though I was ashamed, I was, disheartened by some of the stuff that I was dealing with personally, guess what? I had, because of my strong reason why, because I wanted to make sure that my children never looked up in the stands and didn't see their dad in the stands when it was time for them to do that, because I was working on our financial freedom, right? So I still went to the events anyway. I still showed up for the private business receptions, because you know what? The answer to my solution, or to my problem, was the solution of helping somebody else have success in their Legal Shield business. So because my purpose is to bring out the greatness in other people and never settle for less personally, I still had to show up. And because we were willing to do that, folks, guess what? We put our vehicle in a position where it could only go forward. And here's what I need you to know. Whenever you get to a place where your back is against the wall, you're having challenges in your Legal Shield business, that's not the time, right? When adversity hits, winners don't see adversity as reasons to quit. It's a reason to step up your game. And so during that time, we had to put ourselves in a position in our truck. We had to put ourselves in a position in our business where we could only go forward. There was no reverse. I couldn't think about going back to what I had done traditionally, because all I was going to get is traditional results. And today I'm so thankful, because thousands of people have come because we made the decision to keep moving forward. And so when you do something significant, I want you to understand, folks, that people are going to often say, hey, you're doing too much. You're spending too much time away from your family. You're investing too much money. Maybe that little thing just isn't for you. And they say, hey, listen, you're biting off maybe more than you can chew. And when people say that to you, I want you to remember that James Kelly said, right, I'd much rather nibble on greatness than to choke on mediocrity. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. It's not just about living a legacy, folks, or leaving a legacy. It's about living a legacy. And that's exactly what we get a chance to do with this amazing opportunity and platform. So let's continue to build your business, folks. Cast a big vision so that others can be attracted to it as well. And we look forward to seeing you at your next advancement, your next ring level, and looking forward to seeing you walk across many stages and being on the beaches of the world together as we go on these incentive trips that Legal Shield is going to provide. So with that, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to turn the call back over to you, sir.
Absolutely extraordinary. Thank you so much, my friend, for being on. Just an incredible leader, folks. Mr. Kelly, just an incredible leader. I mean, mic drop, right? Absolutely incredible nugget. Sacrifices will pay you back in dividends. I mean, mind blow. Absolutely amazing, folks. So thank you, Mr. Kelly, for spending your time with us. You did an absolutely phenomenal job. I mean, you probably impacted hundreds and hundreds of people today, which will duplicate on to thousands and thousands. So thank you so much for your leadership. One of the most polished individuals that I personally know. I want to thank everyone for spending that time with us today. And look, if you're watching on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. We're flooding this channel with all kinds of trainings and presentations and things to help you build your business that you could use on demand, right? On the fly. You could find that, you could go back to Mr. Kelly's training over and over and over again and watch it. Share it with your team. You saw it here, but there's people that you're going to recruit that didn't get to see Mr. Kelly speak. And that was impactful. Mr. Kelly, thank you so much for those nuggets, because I know that you've bettered my life. Even if it was just a percentage, I am grateful, my friend. So again, subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel so you can keep up with all those nuggets. And again, I just want to say thank you for spending that time with us, folks. Go out, build a massive business for yourselves. It's been an amazing time. Make sure that you're getting registered for that international leadership convention that's coming up October 9th and 10th, folks. You don't want to miss that. Make sure that you get with your team, with your upline, as you could catch it right from your living room, folks, like Mr. Lewis so elaborately explained to us with all his passion. So appreciate you all. God bless you. God bless Legal Shield, folks. Have an amazing day.